warning that his support for Argentina's struggling economy would end if President Javier Milei loses his upcoming legislative elections. His warnings come as Washington hosts the Argentinian president, President Trump, during a press briefing with Milei, has stated the following.
So it's a little bit like that with, if you take a look at Argentina, if the president doesn't win, I know the person that he'd be running against, I believe, we probably have the person. A person is extremely far left and a philosophy that got Argentina into this problem in the first place. So we would not be generous with Argentina if that happened. If he loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina.
President Trump, who has pledged $20 billion to aid Argentina, stated that if Milei's minority party fails to gain seats, U.S. backing could be withdrawn. Despite the financial aid, Argentina's markets remain unsettled and Milei's approval ratings are low ahead of the October 2026 midterms. Trump, who hails Milei as a great leader, emphasized the ideological alignment between the two, calling it a Make Argentina Great Again effort. As Argentina grapples with a severe liquidity crisis, U.S. Treasury officials have stepped in to offer financial relief, stabilizing the peso and endorsing Milei as he faces the midterms. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at Hudson Institute, joins us live from Tokyo. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, what are the potential consequences for Argentina's economy if U.S. financial support is withdrawn?
Of course, this is serious. Argentina's financial situation is not good for a long time indeed. So that's why they need U.S. support. And in this case, President Trump focusing on the right-wing corporation. So that's why if the Argentina government is right-wing, of course, this is a good message to the President Trump, because recently the United States limits the support to the other country. Despite this, Argentina got the support, the rescue plan from the United States, means that President Milei quite succeeded to get the support from President Trump. But the image could easy to destroy because of the election. So that's why the current situation is good for Argentina, and so if the situation will change, it is not good for Argentina. And in case of the President Trump, indeed, Argentina is located in the American continent is also matter because current President Trump focusing on issue in the American continent as a priority area. So that's why if the Argentina change government stance, and this is not right-wing government President Trump like, of course, it will affect very severely, I think. So that's why President Milei of Argentina was quite succeeded to get the mind of the President Trump. That is a very good situation for the Argentina just now. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And Dr. Satoru, how does President Trump's warning to Argentina highlight the intersection of international aid, political support, and ideological alignment between these two?
Yes, of course, in case of the relation between President Trump and President Milei, both are right and do not like the role of the international organizations because they believe that these organizations are liberal side. So, but of course, if the government had changed Argentina and of course, different sides, more the middle left or left side government established. In this case, of course, they will lose the support from President Trump. So instead of this, they try to seek the support from the international organization or China. These are the other choices for them. But currently, President Trump focusing on the American continent is indeed a very big impact in this region, I believe. So that's why in the election in Argentina was President Milei's success is indeed a relatively good impact for the Argentina just now. So there is no reason to change it. But view from the diplomacy or view from the Argentina-U.S. relation, this is a relatively good situation, I think.
Thank you, Professor, for joining us, Doctor, for joining us and sharing that insight. Now we stay on this topic as the liquidity crisis deepens. Argentine President Javier Milei accused his political opponents of exacerbating the country's financial troubles. Speaking in Washington, he told U.S. President Donald Trump that the ongoing liquidity crisis was a result of political attacks against his government. Argentina has been struggling with a severe economic crisis, spending over $1 billion to defend the peso in recent weeks. Let's now listen in to what some locals have said in the economic condition of this nation.
La ayuda que está pidiendo, ya sabemos para qué. Esta ayuda que él está pidiendo a Donald Trump, ya sabemos para qué. Esto es para él, para los ricos, no es para la gente de perfil bajo o medio, clase media. Esto es todo para ellos. Esto es una cadena.
El país está difícil, la economía está dura, porque los sueldos están bajos y el vivir, bueno, hay que hacer magia el día a día para vivir, pero apuntemos a que nuestro presidente saque el país adelante. No lo conocíamos al presidente, así que es una caja de sorpresa.
Es todo muy, muy caro. Más allá que la inflación está relativamente controlada, está excesivamente caro casi todo. La capacidad de compra es muy baja, entonces es un gran dilema. Hay un gran parate general. Sumado a eso el comportamiento cruel, despreciando a la gente de alguna forma del Poder Ejecutivo del Gobierno, eso hace que la situación esté difícil.
Now we move on. U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized Spain for refusing to meet the proposed 5% defense spending target for NATO members, calling the move very disrespectful to the alliance. Speaking in Washington, President Trump has stated that Spain is the only NATO country to reject the proposal and warned that it could face trade punishment through tariffs as a consequence. Earlier this week, the U.S. president even suggested that Spain could be expelled from NATO. The comments come amid growing tension between Washington and several European allies over Trump's demand that members boost defense budgets far beyond NATO's long-standing 2% goal. Let's listen into what President Trump has said.
I think it's very disrespectful to NATO. In fact, I was thinking